So apparently a lot of fans are going online and are voicing their, I guess you could say, displeasure at the fact that Liv Morgan is not going to be facing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. And look, everybody has a right to their opinions, okay? Everybody does. But just like Cody Rhodes earned his right at the Royal Rumble to face Roman Reigns, no matter how convoluted that ended up being, afterwards, Becky Lynch earned her right at the Elimination Chamber. But look, I get why fans are upset about this. To them, it's like, oh no, here we go again. Becky Lynch in another main event championship match. Whoop-de-doo. People, and here's the thing, people are making comparisons. They are making comparisons to her being like the John Cena of the women's division. No. You want the John Cena of the women's division? You have to look no further than Charlotte Flair. And I say that with all due respect for the woman. She's one of the best. But look no further than her. Becky Lynch has not been in that many main event featured programs for the women, if you will, when it comes to WrestleMania or any event, period. She's been in like a few. And this program, she's going to have Rhea is going to put her in that, going to put her back in that spot. But the reason this is happening is because for two, reasons. And it's not because, it's a storyline feud and everything. No, it's a storyline of not only possible respect between the two and understanding that both kind of are molded in a similar fashion. But storyline wise for Becky, it's basically her final step, her final and last step possibly, becoming once again the man, being, the man of the women's division by becoming women's world champion. And for Rhea, it's basically for the time being the last horsewoman, she has to beat to solidify her domination in the division over the past year or so. And by doing so, basically she will have another torch passed to her courtesy of Becky Lynch. And in the span of a year, she would have beaten two of the women that main evented WrestleMania several years back with Ronda Rousey. You kind of see what I'm getting at? It's not a match storyline wise based on a feud. It's a storyline based on, basically the characters themselves, the individuals themselves wanting to prove that either they could still be, the face of that division, or prove that they are the new face of that division and that they are everything they say they are and that they have evolved into. That, of course, being Becky wanting to prove she could still do it, and still be the face, and Rhea wanting to prove that she is now the face of the division and she is the evolution, the true evolution of the women's division. That's what this is all about. And look, I get people want Liv Morgan in the match. I get people are saying that it should have been Liv Morgan instead of Becky Lynch. I understand that. And we're going to get to Liv Morgan, don't get me wrong. But sometimes stories like hers and, Rhea's doesn't need doesn't need a championship on the line. I mean, yeah, having the championship on the line would make it more sweeter for Liv in beating Rhea. That's not only does she get her revenge, but she takes away the one thing Rhea values a lot. But in this case, you don't really need that. All you need is basically the story that you're building upon. And also, let's look at this, from this perspective right now. In the time that Liv has been gone, Rhea has gone from being a heel to practically being a babyface while still being a heel. You get what I'm saying? She is a tweener, heelish babyface. And because of that, now there are reports, rumors going around that she could be the one that gets kicked out of Judgment Day before Damian Priest does. And I think a lot of people could believe that more so than the original plan. They could believe that being the case down the line. How and when they get there or how they get to that point is another story. If they do it. But it definitely feels like they could be leaning in that direction. Again, the how and where, that's what I was trying to say, of how they get to it. That's up to WWE and what their strategy is. Now, when you look at Liv, right now, yes, fans are happy she's back. But let's not forget about one thing. When a babyface comes back, and they want to basically get revenge on someone that was a heel that took them out, but all of a sudden that heel is a babyface, themselves. Is it what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be natural for the fans to gravitate to the returning face and turn the face they have come to love back into a heel? What's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. With this audience, it's going to be Liv that becomes the heel in their eyes, and Rhea is still the babyface. You see what I'm saying? It makes things a little tricky, which is why they're not going to go for Liv versus Rhea just yet. What they'll do, probably more than anything, is and this is if they don't add Liv to the match. What they'll do more than anything is they'll have Liv come out and cost Rhea the championship. That way, now you have your starting point or restarting point to get that feud going again between the two. Because on one hand, Rhea cost Liv, months of her career with an injury, kayfabe injury. And on the other hand, Liv, for revenge and wanting to get back at Rhea for what she did, cost Rhea her championship at WrestleMania. It makes more sense for Rhea to have her reign, if they do end it, to end there and reestablish, and at the same time reestablish Becky Lynch as still being the face of the overall women's division and once again as the man. And simultaneously what you do is you pivot, you gravitate that situation, and the way Rhea lost, you basically connect that and gravitate Rhea over to Liv Morgan, and now Rhea has a reason to go after Liv, just like Liv has a reason to go after Rhea. They both want to get at each other for taking something away from the other. It makes more sense. Now, does it still mean Liv could get booed as the heel? Absolutely, because if she's going to come in and cost Rhea her title, yeah, in the eyes of the fans, that makes her an automatic heel. There is no doubt. There's no doubt about that. But either way, it's still kind of, basically, a direction they can go in after WrestleMania. Because then you could build to a matchup between the two, at Backlash in Paris, or maybe even build to something going into SummerSlam. Or you can maybe make, the rematch between Becky and Rhea for the championship a triple threat at Backlash. You can go all kinds of directions, with this. You can go in all kinds of directions, period. And let's be honest. The one thing that seems to be, on the verge of happening is Rhea Ripley. And the one thing that's happening is Rhea Ripley is basically on the verge of probably being the one, not Damian Priest like originally thought to be, but Rhea being the one that'll get kicked out of Judgment Day. You kind of see what I'm saying? So, to me, you could still do your Liv and Rhea feud, but it'll be after WrestleMania. And again, even that could make Liv the heel. And who knows? Maybe Liv takes Rhea's place in Judgment Day. We don't know. There's all kinds of ways they can go with this. But right now, the storyline basically is, for Rhea Ripley to prove once and for all that she is everything she says she is by beating the other half or the other third of that triple threat main event. She has a chance to prove her dominance by doing so. And then Becky, on the other hand, has an opportunity to prove once and for all. Like I said, basically you're going to get, Liv versus Rhea, but it's going to be post-WrestleMania is what's going to happen. Because, as I was saying, basically right now the story, basically is between Becky and Rhea because of the fact that it's not a feud story. It's a feud of, does Becky still have it to be the man once again, to be on top of the women's division? Or is it Rhea's time? Because Rhea, in a year span, has beaten 2/3 of that WrestleMania main event from years ago between Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda. That right there, that is the story. Because you look at the fact of she just got put into a feud with Nia Jax. That might still continue as well. But, but again, in the process, what that story did for Rhea was basically kind of, prove or tell the story of, is she the dominant eradicator she says she is? Is she who she, hypes herself up to be? Is she who goes out there and proves it in the ring by beating everyone that she gets that stands in front of her? Or is she just all talk, no hype? Or all talk, no backup? You know what I'm saying? No talk, no walk. And her being in that feud with Nia, to me, kind of set the tone of why she wants Becky, because she wants to prove that she is everything she says she is, and she just took the second big step in proving that by beating Nia. The first one was against Charlotte last year. The second one was Nia. Now she's got Becky. And if she beats Becky, within a year, she would have proven that she is everything she says she is, and that she is the new face, the new evolution of the women's division overall, no matter what brand she's on. And like I said, there is a good chance that Liv could join Judgment Day in Rhea's place. And if you want to get her over as a heel, you have Dom, stab Mommy in the back, along with the rest of Judgment Day, and you have Liv align herself with Dom, and off to the races you go. Off to the races you go. But, for right now, if you want to get to that point, the bridging gap, if you will, to get to that point is Becky and Rhea. And like I said, if you want Rhea and Liv post WrestleMania, maybe for the title or not, you have Liv come out, and if it's not for the title, and you're going to program Becky over to somebody else, then you have Liv come out and cost Rhea the match. And then by default, and then by association, you have Dom come out, and then along with the rest of Judgment Day, kick Rhea out, and Liv takes her place. There you go. Then you have basically the full-fledged, babyface turn of Rhea as we know her now, and in her place as the heel in Judgment Day is Liv. And again, you associate her with Dom, and again, off to the races you go. You don't have to worry about that. And even if you want, if you want it to be for the championship and you have Rhea go over Becky, you can have Liv attack her later on after the match, and you can have Dom come out, make it look like Dom's going to come to Rhea's aid, but then you have Dom turn on Rhea. And then you later on have the rest of Judgment Day turn on her. And there you go. There you go. You see what I'm saying? Things will work out. And right now, I think this program about respect and basically whether or not, and basically telling the story on both ends of this, one and Becky still have it to be the man, be the face of the women's division. And on the other hand, is Rhea everything she says she is, all talk and all walk? Is she the new evolution, the next evolution of the women's division? Those are stories personally, individually, that will be told in this matchup, and then you can progress afterwards towards Liv. And again, the way I think it could play out is exactly how I feel it could, now that I think about it. But we'll see. But to me, that's the more logical direction. But I understand fans are upset. I understand they don't like the idea that Liv's not a part of this. But guess what? Sometimes the best payoffs, and best continuations and next chapters of stories and rivalries, between individuals, sometimes that's worth the wait. Sometimes it's worth the wait. And if you're looking at a season premiere for the company as a whole post WrestleMania, that's the direction that's one direction storyline wise you can go. That's what you can do. But that's just my thoughts on it, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are, and until next time, I'll talk to y'all later.